Hello, and welcome to Sky Career Talks, where we display why it's great to learn with us and communicate. I'm your host, David James. Today, I'm super excited to be speaking with Victoria Musso. Victoria graduated from the School of Communication and Information in 2016 with a major in journalism and media studies, double minoring in psychology and digital communications, information, and media. Since graduating, Victoria has worked across various PR agencies, from boutique to midsize, working with celebrity chefs and acclaimed restaurants. Major food brands such as Godiva and focus brands restaurant groups such as Moe's Southwest Grill, McAllister's Deli, and working across consumer tech brands including Google, YouTube, Tinder, and many more. Combining her passion for food and interest in consumer tech brands, Victoria is currently the PR manager at HelloFresh, where she executes buzzy PR campaigns and leads the ongoing news engine programs across HelloFresh's growing brand portfolio, including HelloFresh, Green Chef, Every Plate, and Factor. We're super excited to be speaking with Victoria today. We present to you my interview with Victoria. Thank you for taking the time to be here with us today, Victoria. So, to kick us off, give us a brief overview of your career journey.
Sure. So I graduated Rutgers in 2016. I had a job opportunity that actually fell through just a few weeks after graduation. So I pretty much spent the next 3 months just applying to any entry-level PR job I could. It took a couple of months, but then I landed my first job as an assistant account executive at a mid-sized agency. I work with some pretty eclectic group of brands from like Jockey underwear to Drake's whiskey brand, New York City nightclubs. However, I absolutely hated it. And 3 months later, I left and I started working at a boutique PR firm that I had interned for the fall semester of my senior year. And then there, I worked with some really cool celebrity chefs and restaurants across the city. I got to attend some awesome events like the New York and South Beach wine and food festivals. I worked on restaurant openings, got to try some amazing food. And it really just sparked my interest in the culinary space. After a year there, I went to M Booth, which is another mid-sized PR agency, which I feel like was my real like foray into the agency world and really where I honed in on my media relations skills. I was there for 4 years. I started out as an account coordinator, worked my way up to a senior account executive, and there I worked mostly on consumer technology brands like Google, YouTube, Tinder. And I also worked on some food brands like Godiva and Focus Brands Restaurant Group, which is Moe's Southwest Grill. Then in 2021, I saw HelloFresh was hiring an associate PR manager. And it was the perfect fit for my food and consumer technology background. Plus, I was already a HelloFresh customer and a fan of the brand. So it just felt like the stars aligned, everything fell into place. And I've been at HelloFresh for a year and a half and was promoted this summer to PR manager, which is my current title.
So, what does a normal day look like for you as a PR practitioner and manager?
So, first thing I do every morning is I check my calendar, write out my to-dos for the day. I never leave without a notebook and a pen. Definitely a tip that I have for students. Then I monitor for coverage for our brands and our competitor brands. And this is where I also read the news. So, breaking news, entertainment news, food news, the PR marketing trades, just to get a sense of the landscape, what the media is talking about, any sort of cool activations, and any trends that I'm seeing. Then I usually start pitching. So a big part of my role is to lead our always on pitching efforts, which is a loose calendar that sort of just guides what we're pitching each month, taking into account different holidays and heat moments. So, right now we're focused on Thanksgiving stories because we offer an annual Thanksgiving box and of course holiday gift guides. So making sure the brands are top of mind for reporters and considered for coverage. So Fridays actually typically tend to be a slower day for me. So it's usually the day where I dedicate to building media lists and writing pitches for the following week so that on Monday, all I have to do is hit send. Then depending on what we have going on, I'm usually in brainstorms, planning meetings, working on upcoming announcements. Right now, we have some really fun holiday projects in the works. So it's been fun working on some really cool stuff where I'm working with various vendors and other internal HelloFresh teams to bring them to life.
And that's wonderful. And it's always an ever-changing environment, right? No 2 days are the same.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there is some structure to my day, which I appreciate, but yeah, every day could be something different.
Well, I'm also concentrated on the thought of, adaptability and being able to pivot. What type of skills do you think is needed to be within this type of field?
So, writing skills for sure. I mean, I majored in journalism because of its practical application, and I wanted to learn AP style. And I feel like, we're pitching journalists so much that I want to know what it's like on the other side and better relate to the journalists that I pitch. But whether it's, writing pitches or press releases or media strategies, writing is a big part of the job. Also, I mean, as a communicator, communication is important, obviously. I'm constantly cold pitching and talking to journalists, working with different teams, managing vendors. And then a big tip that I have for anyone aspiring to, work in PR is that basic administration skills are super, super important, especially early on in the career. It's a lot of admin work and it can be tedious, monitoring and tracking for coverage, scheduling meetings, prepping conference rooms, booking flights, a lot of research, a lot of auditing, a lot of writing. But these admin skills are the foundation to exceeding in PR. So being detail oriented and triple, quadruple checking your work, super important. Also being resourceful and solution oriented. So not just having a plan B, but having a plan C, a plan D, a plan E in your back pocket. One story I love to tell is I remember one time I was an intern and I had to find an Us Weekly edition that was a few weeks old. And this was before digital versions were widely available. And since it wasn't available at newsstands anymore, I spent the entire afternoon going to different hair and nail salons on the Upper East Side to try and find that specific edition. And I did. And that's something that I'm really proud of.
Yeah, being able to think quick on your feet, but also sort of engaging with the community, such as going into the local nail salons and just being able to look
Right.
through.
And just having that plan in my back pocket really impressed my bosses. And one of the reasons why they invited me to come back and work for them after I graduated.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, it definitely does seem like you have that very fast pace sort of New York mindset, kind of sort of play hard and go big. Yeah, which is
Yeah,
something that's
everyone
very.
is working 1,000 miles a minute. So, if you can think quick on your feet, if you have a few different, options in your back pocket, that'll go a long way and you'll really stand out.
And do you think there are any books or resources or perhaps blogs or just
PR Week is really great. They really help students kind of see what's going on in the industry. You learn a lot about the different agencies that are out there and the type of work that they do, the type of clients they work on. Um, and then I also think just, reading the Ad Week and the Ad Ages, those are really helpful resources as well.
So how does one get into this field? Is it building a portfolio, having a website already made, or just the practical use of networking and having a LinkedIn presence?
I think networking. I mean, networking has basically helped me land every job that I had. So, like I said, it was because of my positive internship experience that I was able to go back to that boutique agency when I hated my first job. And then I got the job at M Booth because they had offered me an intern position that I had turned down for the full-time job. But I kept in touch with the recruiter for a year and a half. And once I saw they were hiring a role I was interested in, I just emailed her and got the job. And then working at M Booth helped me with my job at HelloFresh because the current PR manager and the hiring manager at the time had also come from M Booth. We didn't work on the same team, but I had really wonderful mentors that vouched for me and knew her and really helped me get my foot in the door. And I think just in general, networking is just part of being a PR professional. It relies heavily on making connections with journalists, TV producers, and sometimes other PR professionals from other brands. So I always love to tell aspiring publicists to stay in touch with your journalism and PR classmates because you never know if you'll be pitching them or working with them in the future.
Absolutely, and keeping that network expanded whenever you do need to pitch or whenever you do need sources, or rather keeping your ears, very close to the vest in terms of what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's a small industry and I feel like everyone knows each other. Everyone has, a certain degree of separation. So yeah, having those connections is super helpful.
That's a great way to put it. So I'm curious, what's your favorite part of the job of, being in PR, or what drives and motivates you every day?
It's fun. I mean, I can't speak for folks that work in crisis or, corporate communications as a consumer communications professional, but we do have the saying that me and my PR friends say, and it's PR, not ER. So, part of my job is reading the publications like Delish and Food and Wine and, looking at food trends on TikTok. And, I get to brainstorm and execute really fun campaigns, write these fluffy pitches, and get to talk about food all day. And I think especially over the past 3 years, we've really seen the value of PR and how brands connect with consumers. And that's really what inspires me and motivates me is just kind of seeing our work kind of play out in the real world.
And with emerging technology, right, there's so much creativity and innovation happening. And it really it does create a rather fun environment to rather think on your toes and, wonder what comes next or what type of project you're going to be immersed into.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the industry is getting so big, and there's so many other, industries that are adjacent to PR, like, influencer marketing, affiliate marketing, organic social. Um, so yeah, the learning never stops.
So, what type of words of wisdom would you tell current students or alumni, or perhaps your younger self that you wish you knew?
Don't get hung up on the optics. You have to
Um,
start somewhere. I felt like when I was in college and in my, early 20s, I was so focused on my career projection, what my title was, working for a cool company. When I started at M Booth, like I said, I started as an account coordinator, which is typically the most junior level role at an agency. So I found myself getting really hung up on the fact that despite having almost 2 years worth of experience, I had to start back at the bottom. Other ACs were younger than me, and I had peers I went to school with who were already at the account executive level. So I definitely feel like I got hung up on that a lot. I compared myself to my peers a lot, but really it all balances itself out. And I wouldn't trade my experiences for anything. It got me to where I am now.
That's fantastic. Well, Victoria, it's been an honor, just being able to, be in conversation with you, but also, get your insights and your perspectives and your career journey within the PR spaces. And thank you again for taking the time to speak with us today.
Of course, this is always so much fun. I love doing it.
We again appreciate Victoria for taking the time to be able to interview with us. We look forward to connecting with Victoria very soon. And thank you all for joining us for another edition of Sky Career Talks. And be sure to share, like, comment, and subscribe. Also follow our LinkedIn group page, Sky Career Corners, to connect with our brilliant students and alumni. Until next time, I'm David James. Take care.